And we are live. Good morning, everybody. It's your favorite truck driver, ex-truck driver in the whole wide world. It's Bitcoin Ben here for the daily. What in the heck is going on in cryptocurrencies and the rest of the world? Now, on today's episode, we are basically going to talk about one thing, at least for the first half hour or so. There's one woman there are several very relevant women in the cryptocurrency uh, community. But I think one of the most relevant women, the most relevant in general as an entrepreneur and someone who has contributed to the cryptocurrency, basically Bitcoin environment, is Caitlin Long. All right, for those who don't know who Caitlin Long is, she is a very professional and very knowledgeable economics person. And I'll be honest, folks, and I'll be blunt, I think she has more testosterone than most of the men in America, because she's willing to get in there and slug it out with the big boys. She's willing to actually take on the Federal Reserve, and she calls them out. Now, see, that's a rarity. You actually find a principled person who is willing to not only call a spade, but also to point out a crooked agenda. She has absolutely no problems at all saying this is wrong. This is corrupt. This is obviously corrupt. And this is why I think it's corrupt. See, a lot of people in our environment, they'll chalk up what we know to be corruption as just an oversight. The Federal Reserve, I mean, it's only an oversight that most, or at least half of the banks, or at least some of them, a large sum of them, are not qualified to use the Fed window. But when Caitlin Long's company, her bank, which is Custodia, right, which now I don't know this for sure, judging off their website, it looks like they're accepting applications, I think, or maybe actually creating accounts. That I'm not 100% sure of. But if they're not, they're this close. And the Federal Reserve, the Fed, the organization of the government has not been very Caitlin Long friendly, right? Because they understand what she's doing. She is replacing them with honesty. Oh, you can't do that, folks. You can't leave the corrupt, manipulated system and go to an honest broker. We can't have honesty here in our economic system. How are we going to manipulate in case of an emergency? Well, what Caitlin Law, and I don't mean to put words in her mouth. I've never heard her say this. But what I think Caitlin Long knows, it's all rigged. It's all rigged. When the government says we have an emergency, right? It isn't the American people have an emergency. Like we woke up one morning and went, oh, damn, we have an emergency. No, the emergency that Caitlin Long usually points out is an entity or an individual or a corporation or a government agency who has acted in an untrustworthy or irresponsible way that causes the emergency. And then Caitlin Long, now this is something else I love about her, is she doesn't jump right in. She doesn't assume any intent until she digs a little deeper. This, I think this gal is the type of gal who keeps a shovel in her trunk just in case she needs to do some digging. And I love that about her. She, like I said, she's wickedly intelligent. I mean, just off the charts, um, smart, and just I don't want to be vulgar, but let's say she's carrying around a couple of bowling balls, in my opinion, because she puts her neck out there. You know, there's a lot of men in cryptos that wouldn't put their neck out near as much as Caitlin Long does. She literally, number one, she's an entrepreneur, obviously. Number two, she cares about her country. Now, I do not know her religious beliefs. That's irrelevant. But she seems very ethical in the way she carries herself. Those are three things that the U.S. government does not have right now. They're not intelligent. They have no ethics. I highly question if they love America in the sense of the founding of America. Now, as you guys know, I think that most of the bureaucracy in Washington is led with the progressive socialist mindset, and that they love America as soon as they're done with it. As soon as we have our great reset, oh, we're going to love America. Oh, it's going to be, shall we say, utopian. Yeah. And Caitlin Law, like I said, not trying to talk for her, but from the interviews I've heard, I don't think she agrees with the progressive government mindset. Now, this is what's important to me with Caitlin Long. Her bank. What she's creating and what her team is creating is an honest entrance and exit of the old financial system. She's creating a lifeboat with Custodia. What the hell? Who told her she could do that? There'll be no lifeboats. See, there's a reason that there was a big wall around the USSR. It wasn't because so many people were trying to claw their way in. See, the USSR didn't have the problem America has now. Where we're basically being invaded. See, the USSR, the communistic structure, is not very individual friendly. And hence the Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. See, I think that Caitlin Long is providing the cryptocurrency and the Bitcoin community and all of the American sandboxes a very much needed tool, a trustworthy bank that is not gonna close their account because you happen to own some Bitcoin. I would be highly surprised if Caitlin Long all of a sudden opens her bank and goes, yeah, we don't want no crypto people here. Sorry. This is strictly for people who like the old fiat system. Don't think that's going to happen with Caitlin. Now, let me give you a few examples. Let's actually pull this up real quick. Number one, if you do not follow her on Twitter, I highly recommend you do, because Caitlin Long is absolutely out there killing. She does a lot of posts. She brings out a lot of good information, and she's an honest player. That's the key. Washington doesn't like Caitlin Long. She has that whole, honesty problem, like wanting to tell the truth and stuff. Caitlin, come on, girl. Get woke. Now, let's see. All right. This is her. I actually just brought this up for the picture. Now, you guys have seen my wife. I don't just love Caitlin because she's a redhead. My wife is also a redhead. So I may lean more to like looking at Caitlin, but it isn't because she's a good looking redhead. All right. Now, here's something I think we all should see and hear. This is wonderful Gary Gensler while he was at MIT. Let's take a second and just hear what old Gary Gensler has to say. What do you say, Gary? Wait a second. Hold on 1 second. Let's hear that one more time, just to be sure that we heard this right. So let's see. Old Gary Gensler says, hey, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me share screen one more time. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sorry. Let's see if it works this time.
Bitcoin futures and I think Ethereum futures and so forth will exist, and Bitcoin ETFs have not. And that feels a little inconsistent to me as an observer. And I'm now, in academia, but it feels a little inconsistent, even though the laws aren't exactly the same. They're quite similar. Bitcoin futures and I think Ethereum futures and so forth will exist, and Bitcoin ETFs have not. And that feels a little inconsistent to me as an observer. And I'm now, in academia, but it feels a little inconsistent, even though the laws aren't exactly the same. They're quite similar. Bitcoin.
The hell are you saying, Gary? See, this right here, if he was being honest there in academia, is he lying now? Or was he lying back then and telling the truth now? Seems a little inconsistent, my friend. See, this shows you that Gary Gensler's not in charge. Gary Gensler isn't using his academia or academic. I just randomly make up words, folks. He isn't using academic, researched knowledge and making a decision on the ETF for the physical Bitcoin and then saying, nope, not applicable. No, somebody, I'm betting the White House, has told Gary, no, sorry, bro. You're going to have to lie. What bothers me is how easily Gary Gensler just lies. But you know my opinion. The progressive way is a lie. The progressives use lies, misrepresentations. They like to nudge with falsehoods to affect your perception in their direction. Hence, the progressives. See, what I've always said is if they're progressives, what are they progressing away from? I would say the Constitution. See, the progressives' origins. Oh, hang on one second. Ooh, I got a new commercial for our sponsor. Check this out. I think you guys are gonna like it. I made it myself with AI software. Guys, eventually we're all going to be out of a job except me, because apparently, listen to this, I'm using this software because I have such an unusual voice. It can't process my voice. It literally like errored out. Maybe Bitcoin Ben's safe because he sounds a little silly. Here's a word from the sponsor.
Ho, 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 hodl. CALIX Solutions created Liberty laptops with the intent of securing your online experience from data leaks and unwanted tracking of your personal data. There has never been a more critical time for protecting your online presence than now. Take a moment to see what the Liberty laptops provide. The Liberty laptop is the smartest way to interact with the world. Enjoy a profound sense of security while surfing the web through safe and anonymous web browsing. Worried about your personal information leaking to data brokers and hackers? With the Liberty laptop, you can shop at your favorite online retailers and listen to your favorite online music and even interact with social media without exposing your data to corporations and governments. At CALIX Solutions, we arrange and modify your laptop so that the operating system does not track or trace your every online movement. We use our proprietary modification methods to secure your Liberty laptop and provide information on recommended software that you use for your online security. Once you receive your Liberty laptop, you will be able to maneuver online more securely and safely. In today's world, you have to protect your identity at every level of life. Online is no longer safe and anonymous. With the Liberty laptop, you can finally interact with the internet without giving up your privacy. Welcome to the new way of being online. Brought to you by CALIX Solutions. Go to calixsolutions.io, call or text 702-845-8276 or email info@calixsolutions.io. Merry Christmas and remember to hodl the holidays.
How'd you like it? All right. Creating that ad only took me 15 minutes. How crazy is that? Modern technology. I love it. I love it. Okay. Back to the show. Now, let me stop sharing. So we have Gary Gensler when he's in academia saying, it doesn't make any sense why you have a futures. You know, how can you have a futures ETF but not have a physical ETF? You would think that was kind of backwards, wouldn't it? Because let's think about what an ETF is used for, or the original purpose of an ETF was so that the farmers and investors could actually sell a future of a product that they owned or produced. Right? Now, in the Bitcoin environment, a futures market works great for the miners because then they can sell a futures of their expected production of the Bitcoin in case they're having some issues or they want to play the market with future production. Not a problem. But if you don't have a physical ETF, but you got a bunch of futures ETFs, you're manipulating the real commodity market using the futures market. See, the reason that they created the futures market was so that people who wanted exposure to the Bitcoin could get the volatility and capture the volatility without actually pushing the price up of owning the Bitcoin. Because when you're a blockchain, you can't play or you can't win unless you play. That's a lottery analogy. Unless you play, you can't win. Now, in this scenario, playing would be purchasing real Bitcoin, right? Where you can't participate and capture the gains and losses without actually adding value to the network yourself. Well, with the futures market, all of that money, all of that value, all of that labor energy was pushed into a futures market. So it didn't affect the price of Bitcoin. See, that's called manipulating the price of Bitcoin. Because if they didn't have a futures market, the people who wanted to get involved would have to buy Bitcoin. And let's remember, folks, when they launched the futures, it was approved in like a week and a half or 3 weeks. And they launch it, and right after they launch it, the Bitcoin price goes down because those who wanted exposure now had a futures ETF. So they create a futures so they can remove the volume off the blockchain and put it onto a rehypothecated financial tool. And trust me, folks, it is a tool. Right? Futures market and the derivatives market. It's anything that is a derivative of a commodity is there to manipulate the price of the commodity. That's it. That's it. Because you can print up derivatives all day long. And when you sell them, you get cash. When you buy them, they do not purchase the actual commodity. They're just tracking the price. And I do believe Caitlin Long understands this. I think we all understand it. She's just one of the few people that I think has no problem calling out the agenda, the intent. It isn't Gary Gensler making a bad economic decision out of lack of knowledge. If it is, MIT's got some splaining to do. If Gary Gensler is so stupid as to uphold the argument that he's been trying to uphold since he's got into office, MIT should be maybe reevaluated on the selection of their university alumni, or not alumni, professors. If Gary Gensler is iffy on if a physical ETF is necessary for an honest market, MIT may not want to send your kids there. They're basically hiring liars. But of course, we're talking about MIT. And if you know the history of MIT, basically, it's the progressive, it's the elite intelligentsia of the progressive university structure. So they teach the future progressives how to be progressive, how to think progressive, how to implement Keynesian economics. Now, see, my argument is any university that teaches Keynesian economics and does not teach Austrian economics is being ingenuine on their intent, because Keynesian economics does not mathematically come to a conclusion, ever. It allows for and makes it necessary to manipulate the monetary system. See, if you can't manipulate the system, then Keynesian economics does not work. See, Austrian economics are, as I've said before, Austrian economics is basically the economics of nature. It's energy plus time plus value, like a seed. Right? Austrian economics is just the economics of value-added economics. If you have a seed, how much did you pay for the seed? Not much. Put it in the ground. Give it a little bit of your time, a little bit of your labor. Water it. Let it absorb some energy and grow. Now you have a small tree. Well, that small tree is worth more than the seed, because the seed, the person has added labor into the growth of that seed. And the amount of time that it took to grow that small tree. Now, you let that tree grow huge. Now, how much is it worth? Bingo. Welcome to Austrian economics. That's what Austrian economics is. It's value-added economics. It's the economics of nature, where Keynesian economics is the economics of illusion, right? Now, Austrian economics requires you to own the tree. Keynesian economics allows you to own a picture of the tree and value the picture of the tree the same value as the tree. That, my friends, is the difference between Austrian economics and Keynesian economics. Okay. I got a few more requests for the Santa Claus video. So word from the sponsor one more time, then I'm going to drop YouTube and we'll go straight to the private server and the other platforms, because YouTube will not allow me to say what I want to say here in a few minutes. But I do, hang on one second. I do want to give a final shout out to Caitlin Long over at Custodia Bank. Here is them on Twitter, and here is their website. Let me switch over here one more time, share the screen. Now, like I said, I don't know for sure if they're accepting or creating accounts, but it does have a button right here that says get started. I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to find out, because as soon as it's available, I will be opening accounts for all 12 of my companies, including the club. Oh, hang on a second. I have a club video too. Watch this. You guys are going to love this. Love it. Ready? Set. Go.
Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club in Sarasota is a hub for cryptocurrency enthusiasts, traders, investors, and anyone interested in learning about blockchain technology and digital currencies. The club offers a range of services and amenities designed to educate, facilitate, and foster a community around cryptocurrency. 1. Educational workshops and seminars. The club hosts regular educational events, workshops, and seminars on various cryptocurrency-related topics. These events could cover the basics of buying, selling, and securely storing digital currencies, as well as more advanced topics like smart contracts, decentralized finance, and blockchain technology. 2. Trading and investment support. Members have access to resources and tools to assist with cryptocurrency trading and investment.
Okay, I won't put you through the whole ad. It's actually like 4 minutes long. That is our intro video that I'll be putting on the club's website. So, all right, everyone watching on YouTube, bye-bye YouTube. So check out Caitlin Long on Twitter. Follow her and check out Custodia Bank on Twitter, and check out their website. This could be the lifeboat for everyone who's getting kicked out of their bank because you want to own some code on a computer, you hardened criminals. Okay, bye-bye YouTube. Everyone else, please hold.